Sa ating national discussions, sa impeachment, sa flood control, sa iba't ibang mga issue, ang kampihan natin, masarap man kung mas marami kang kakampi, wala nang sanity eh. Algorithm. Parang fraternity, kahit mali, kampihan ka na lang. Sabi ng Pangulo, I am president not only of my family, and it is worth yung palakpak na binigay sa kanya. But can we add, the president is also not only the president of the administration, he is also president of the opposition. And respectfully, I believe that Senator Bato is fleeing unjustly because he cannot get justice. I believe Senator Jinggoy and Senator Marcoleta are political prisoners, and that if it wasn't weaponized, they will be able to at least go out on bail. Tay, pinapanood ko ang Pangulo kahapon, bakit unang-una niyang binanggit ang flood control? Ganyan ba ka-importante yung issue na yan? Bakit una niyang binanggit? Anak, biggest issue of the year yan eh. At pinakamalaking skandalo sa corruption in our history. Anak, importante ma-resolve yan. Anak, importante malaman ng taong bayan yung tunay na nangyayari, anong ginagawa, anong pwedeng gawin, anong reforma ang pwede. Anak, dapat kasi bumalik ang tiwala sa leaders at sistema. Pag yan ay hindi binanggit at hindi inayos, lahat ay suspect. Anak, napaka-importante, madapa man ang isang bansa, ay siya'y bumangon. So, in other words, genuine reforms. Symbols matter, anak. Pag may mga skandalo na tumatama sa isang bansa, may isa o dalawa na bukod tangi dahil nagiging simbolo. Either simbolo kung paano ni-resolve ng isang bansa at paano niya nilampasan ang corruption, or simbolo kung paano nanatiling nakadapa ang bansa at hindi makatayo. So sana anak, we will find the strength and wisdom to conclude the investigations, to hold people accountable, but also to put the genuine reforms. Isang simpleng example lang, isang simpleng suggestion na binigay ko sa DPWH na 2 beses tinanggap ng secretary pero mukhang hindi ginawa. Ordinaryong cellphone, kunan lahat ng projects para makita kung may ghost o wala. So 1 year later, the problem is hindi pa kumpleto yung data. Pero wag ka mawalang ng pag-asa, anak. Walang bansa sa mundo nang hindi dumaan sa corruption. At walang bansa na umunlad na hindi niya kahit papano na-address ang corruption. Tay, bakit ba pinilit mo na dito tayo sa syudad tumira? Kasi anak, dati at least sa probinsya may makakain ka. Ngayon, dito sa mga syudad, lalo sa Metro Manila, libre ang uniforme pag nag-aral, may scholarship pagka college, pagka single parent, kapag ka PWD, pag senior, may regalo, may cash gift, meron pang minsan mga giveaway. Dito anak, may internet. Mr. President, in 1980, 1/3 lang ng Pilipino ang nakatira sa urban. 2/3 ay sa rural. And we know around the world, mas maganda ang ugali ng mga nakatira sa rural. Mas may sense of community, sense of camaraderie, mas may malasakit sa isa't isa. Pero napilitan ang mga kababayan natin sa rural. Bakit po? Go to certain parts of France, of UK, even the US, Canada. Rural, pero may kuryente, may tubig, may ospital, may eskwelahan, may internet. Sa atin hindi. Pag sinabi mong urban, sigurado po yan, mayaman. Pag pumunta ka ng rural, mahirap. Ang problema, ang mahirap sa rural, pag pumunta sa urban, mahirap pa rin. Mas maginhawa buhay, pero mahirap pa rin. Mahirap po. So, Mr. President, we should have a real rural development project. That was something I heard a lot in the 70s, 80s, 90s. Pero siguro kasi mas maganda talagang ang sabihin sa isa't isa, sa syudad ako nakatira, nakakalimutan natin. May I pay tribute to isang USEC ng DBM, I think USEC Abuel. I remember when she topped the bar, sabi ng isang reporter sa kanya, Ma'am, ano pakiramdam mo ng isang taga-probinsya ay nag-top ng bar? The reporter, I think from there, but I'm not sure from Manila or from there, um, was referring to na hindi ka taga Manila. Kasi dati, karamihan ng top 10 nandito sa Manila, Manila Law Schools. Sabi po niya, excuse me, Baguio is a city. So hanggang ngayon po sa atin sa Metro Manila, pagka hindi ka sa Metro Manila or Metro Cebu o Metro Davao, or minsan taga Metro Cebu ka na, Metro Davao, ang dating sa atin sa mga Metro Manila, taga probinsya kayo. Walang masama po maging sa probinsya. Ang problema po, bakit wala tayong rural development program? Which brings us to transportation. Mr. President, ako'y natutuwa na narinig ko po yung additional trains at stasyon na sinabi in both zonas. Last year zona at ngayon. Pero bakit po, kung titignan natin ang national budget, kalye pa rin ang ating tinututukan? Tignan nyo po ang Laguna Lake, Lakeshore, yung ginagawa pong highway po dyan. Nasabi natin last year at umuo ang DOTR Secretary, umuo ang DPWH Secretary, na pag-aaralan nila kung lalagyan man ng kalye, lalagyan din ng tren. Pero wala akong nababalitaan magandang plano para sa tren na magkakabit ng probinsya ng Rizal, probinsya ng Laguna at Metro Manila. Napakasimple lang po niyan. Ginagawa na po yung kalye. Nire-reclaiman na po yung lake. Ganon din po ang Mindanao Railway. I have to speak because wala po dito si Senator Bato. Pero sa last year budget natin, inamin po ng DOTR kung lalagyan lang nila ng 10 bilyon. And I think Senator JV mentioned this 7 years, basta bago ako mag-DFA or after ko mag-DFA, binabanggit na to. Oh, so nagka-problema sa funding sa China. Pero yung phase 1 po ay pwedeng pondohan ng ating gobyerno. Bakit hindi? Huwag tayong pumayag na yung pagkakamali ng Metro Manila at ng ibang lugar sa Luzon ay maging pagkakamali ng Mindanao. Kasi unlike Visayas na grupo ng mga isla, ang Mindanao ay mas halintulad sa Luzon, pero mas mayaman sa Luzon. So sana naman po sa 2026 budget, may pondo na po ang Mindanao railway system regardless kung sino nagtatap ng survey sa Mindanao. Patapos na to, Mr. President. Makwento po kasi si tatay at si anak. Anak, malaki talaga ang potential ng Pilipino. Maabilidad kasi ang Pilipino. Tay, ano ba mangyayari pag na-realize natin ang potential? Anak, lahat ng komunidad, lahat ng lugar, lahat ng Pilipino ay makikinabang. E di tay, ba't hindi natin gawin? Maraming dahilan, anak, pero isang dahilan, algorithm. Ngayon, para na tayong fraternities na nagrarumble. Na experience ko sa University of the Philippines, pag may rumble at may brad ka na nagulpe o mayroon kang gugulpihin, hindi na importante sinong tama at mali. Ang importante, protektahan mo brad mo. Sa ating national discussions, sa impeachment, sa flood control, sa iba't ibang mga issue, ang kampihan natin, masarap man kung mas marami kang kakampi, wala nang sanity eh. Algorithm. Parang fraternity, kahit mali, kampihan ka na lang. That's a problem, I don't know the solution. But what can I tell you, anak? Noong 1960s, we were second only to Japan. President Erap kept on saying this during their presidential election in 1998. So ni-research ko yan. Meron palang World Bank study na nagsabi, ang pinakamalaking potential ay Pilipinas, ang pinakamaliit na potential, Korea, Taiwan, Vietnam. Bakit po? Dahil po sa mga gera at kondisyon ng kanilang bansa. Ang Korea, yung Korean War, pero dahil din sa sobrang winter doon. And this was the 1960s. The technology was much less. We know about Taiwan dahil nga po sa revolution sa China, and we know about Vietnam that had a long war between the South and North at saka yung hilahan during the Cold War. But wag na nating pangarapin na maging second tayo sa Japan, sa Asia. Balik tayo sa 70s, 80s. Vietnam, nasa ilalim natin. Thailand, kapantay natin. Mas moderno tayo sa Malaysia. Pero ngayon, sabihin nyo, whether infrastructure, whether tourism, whether manufacturing, kung ano-anong pag-usapan po natin, naiiwan na po tayo ng ating pong mga neighbor. So anak, we have to get our acts together. Anak, hindi ko na isa-isahin Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam. Kung may pera tayo, puntahan natin. Kung wala, i-internet mo na lang pero makikita mo yung ganda. Pero anak, pinakita ng tatay ko to sa akin. With your permission, Mr. President, can I show the picture of Singapore in the 1950s? In the 1950s po, Singapore was a fishing village. Maraming potential, maraming maganda, pero wala po kasi silang natural resources. Tapos may problema sila with Malaysia, may racial problems. In fact, maraming taga Davao ang meron pong nani na galing po sa Singapore. Pero ngayon po, ano na itsura ng Singapore? Next slide, please. Next slide, please. At kahit anong indicator po, human index indicators, health, education, quality of life, safety, kung hindi number 1, number 2 ang Singapore. So madalas sabihin ng aking ama sa akin, anak, isipin mo, 1 generation lang kaya yan. Kasi yung iba sinasabi, 100 years, 200 years. Hindi, 1 generation. But you know, my good friend and brother in Christ, Jeremiah Belica, who's here, the irony is we were in Singapore and we had a conference talking to Christians from all over the region and pinakita niya tong picture na to or similar to this. Next slide, please. He showed this picture. Hindi niya ni-label nun, kaya hindi ko nakilala kaagad. And it wasn't so far ago. It was in 1996. Ito po ang itsura ng Bonifacio Global City. Next slide. Pinakita niya po ano na ang itsura ngayon ng Bonifacio Global City. In 20 to 30 years po, not only did a city rise, from 5 million a year in 2009 na budget sa scholarship, 1 billion na ngayon. From a few hundreds to a few thousand, more than 50,000 scholars, between 15,000 to 80,000 pesos. From Fort Bonifacio, catering to mostly Metro Manilan, richer cities, yung nagtatrabaho dyan, in the last 10 years, napakaraming engineers, abogado, chef, na nag-graduate mga professionals dahil nga nag-rise up in less than 30 years. Next slide, please. President Pinoy saw the potential. So this is just a comparison. Next slide. Ilan administrasyon ang sinubukan ibenta yung part ng FTI? 2012 po to. Ano na itsura ngayon ng Arca South? I was there last Sunday sa Landers. Dinala ko yung anak ni ate at mga pamangking ko. Next slide, please. It's turning out to be, quite a beautiful development. At yung traditional barangays ng Senate, ang Signal Village, Marlica Village, ang Upper Bikutan, Western Bikutan, napakaraming residente ang naglalakad na dyan. So Mr. President, kaya po natin. I don't have time now and I don't have the pictures of how Cebu City, Mandaue, Davao City, Iloilo, Bacolod, your city, Mr. President, Valenzuela, Mandaluyong, Cagayan de Oro. I was thinking if I'm going to mention the city of Senator Jinggoy and Senator JV, but I will mention San Juan. No? But my point is, Mr. President, may pag-asa eh. Di mo kailangan maghintay na matagal. So nung bata ako, gusto ko na sabihin sa matatandang politiko, panay sabi nyo, para sa amin eh. Pero kayo lang yung mayaman eh. Di naman nagbabago. Kaya wag tayong magalit sa mga bata ngayon if they're demanding that when we said this is for you, they want to see faster results. At kaya, Mr. President. So in that sense, let me close, Mr. President, by saying, let's take a second look in having a new local government code, giving more decentralization. Actually, I will push the envelope dahil nakatingin sa akin si Robin Padilla na may kakampi siyang mabigat. Kakampi po niya si Dr. Jose Rizal. na nagsabing federalismo ang dapat sa Pilipinas. So Mr. President, there are system changes that can help our country. But it won't happen kung may problema tayo sa demokrasya. Sabi ng Pangulo, I am president not only of my family, and it is worth yung palakpak na binigay sa kanya. But can we add, the president is also not only the president of the administration, he is also president of the opposition. And respectfully, I believe that Senator Bato is fleeing unjustly because he cannot get justice. I believe Senator Jinggoy and Senator Marcoleta are political prisoners, and that if it wasn't weaponized, they will be able to at least go out on bail. So, Mr. President, these are things that we should talk about as a Senate. Beyond politics, beyond emotions. Sabihin nyo na mali ako, but should they be allowed to attend the impeachment? Sabihin nyo na mali ako, and they're not political prisoners, but are they getting the justice? Pantay-pantay ba ang hustisya o selective justice po tayo ngayon? Mr. President, I don't know if there's a slide, but if there is, please put it on. So ang huling tanong nung anak, Tay, ang daling sabihin common vision. Pero ano yung common vision na yan? Actually, nasa preamble ng ating Constitution. And allow me to read it. We, the sovereign Filipino people, imploring the aid of Almighty God in order to build a just and humane society and establish a government that shall embody our ideals and aspiration, promote the common good, conserve and develop our patrimony, and secure to ourselves and our posterity the blessing of independence and democracy, under the rule of law and a regime of truth, justice, freedom, love, equality, and peace, do hereby ordain this Constitution. Anak, ito ang batas ng ating bansa. Pero may mas mataas na batas dito, ang batas ng Diyos. Anak, ang isang bansa na hindi niya kilala ang kanyang sarili, yung walang identity, walang mangyayari. So Mr. President, let me put that forward. Whether as individuals, as a community, as a country, let me quote Dr. Miles Monroe, identity is important. Who am I? Second, what am I meant to do? A question of purpose. What is the purpose of the Philippine nation? And third, destiny. What am I meant to do? If we understand the preamble of the Constitution, we understand the law of God, we understand our destiny, purpose, and identity, we will be on our way. So let me close by telling our mga anak, manampalataya po tayo, anak. Let us believe, but let us act. Faith without action is dead. Sabi sa Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in a future. But it is followed by Jeremiah 29:12 and 13. Then you will call upon me and come to pray to me, and I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me, and you will seek me with all your heart. So that's my prayer today, Mr. President, that despite the toxic politics, despite our disagreements, let us all seek God and have faith that when we seek Him, we will find Him. And when we find Him, He will show us His plans to prosper us and not to harm us, plans to give us hope in the future. Thank you, dear colleagues, for this opportunity.
Maraming